main event every Monday, 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. I'm Cody Askins.
And I'm Jacob Van Helden.
I'm joined by Mr. Jacob Van Helden. We are Secure Agent Mentor. This is part of the Secure Agent Mentor team, and we want to bring you some knowledge, some tricks, some tips. I get questions all the time, and every single day. And I had questions this morning. I have an agent from Pennsylvania wanting to fly down and spend the week with me to go out in the field and shadow because of our sales process, our appointment process, which everyone has questions about.
Yeah.
Which is taking someone from, "Hi, my name's Cody. Thank you so much for allowing me in your home," to "Thank you for your business. Welcome to the family.
Welcome to the family.
Where's my check?"
There you go.
Right?
Sign here.
Exactly. And that's what most people struggle with.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do, how to get over the hump. I mean, once people master getting in front of people,
Oh, yeah.
it's actually easier than they think.
Oh, yeah. That's half the battle.
It really is. But for whatever reason, there's a lot of agents that are scared to get in front of people.
Yeah.
Or when they do get in front of them, what they're going to do, what they're going to say, how they're going to get them to sign, how they're going to earn their business,
Yeah.
how they're going to make them a client and seal the deal.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're doing this today.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a lot of questions about this. Everyone's wanting to know, what is our sales process?
What do you do?
What is our appointment process?
Right.
What do you do? How do you do it? When do you do it? And so we're going to break it into 4 steps today. And we're going to make it
parts.
Exactly, very, very easy. Step 1 is going to be the warm-up,
Very important.
which we will touch on. Step number 2 will be the fact-finding stage.
Yep.
Arguably the most important
Oh, yeah,
stage.
yeah.
If you don't properly fact-find and you don't learn about the deal,
Can't
you
properly
will
close.
not close the deal.
Absolutely.
Exactly. You won't know how to close.
Yeah.
The third step is presenting and closing.
Yep.
Those are together.
Yeah.
And you could almost say build value.
Right.
But I build value from the moment I step out of the
yeah.
car.
Oh, yeah.
And then step 4 is the wrap up and cool down.
Mm-hmm.
It's the simple stage. It's
Oh, yeah.
Instead of just selling them something like you would think you need to do,
Right.
and just run out the door
Yeah.
and race off to the next one, let's take a few minutes.
Yeah.
Let's cultivate. Let's calm down. Let's get to know them.
Make them feel good about their purchase.
Build a relationship.
Absolutely.
Concrete that sale.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so today we're going to talk about all 4 steps in very good detail.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, you get in front of enough people and you implement this sales appointment process, you will make $250,000 a year or more in the insurance business. I absolutely guarantee it.
Easy.
Money back
Absolutely.
guarantee.
Money back guarantee.
I don't know what the money back part is,
Yeah,
but
sure, yeah.
money back guarantee
Absolutely.
today only. Okay, so this is the $250,000 sales process
At least.
that we've broken down in 4 easy steps. So let's go ahead but before we dive in, let's talk about kind of what's important to set the sales process off
Right.
in the right motion.
Mm-hmm.
And so, let's even start when we open the car door.
Yeah.
Because the warm-up starts there.
Yeah.
I feel like
you pull in.
Exactly. The warm-up starts when I pull in.
Yeah.
And so when I pull in, I don't waste any time. I prepare before I get to the home, and I'm getting out. Because, I don't know why, but I don't feel comfortable sitting there for a few minutes and not getting out or prepping.
Yeah, it's
because
a little weird.
It is. It
Yeah.
feels like you're sitting in your car. If they noticed you, I just
Yeah.
don't like that.
No.
So as soon as I pull up, I want to get to the door. I don't want to give them a chance. If they thought about backing out,
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to give them a chance to back out.
No.
I don't want to give them a chance to hide, turn
Yeah.
off the TV, put the kids away,
Turn the front
shut up
porch
the
light
dogs,
off. Yeah.
turn the lights off, lock the doors. No, in all seriousness though, I want to get to the door, and there's an old saying, which is the reason why I knock on the door. There's an old saying and it's real, that literally neighbors knock,
Mm-hmm.
salespeople ring the doorbell.
Yep.
So that's why I'm going to door knock.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in there and knock.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to knock firmly. And I've kind of got this deal where I'm knocking firm and several times.
Yeah, I've heard 6 to 7 times
Exactly.
is typically and you want to knock firm, but not too firm like you're knocking the door down.
Yeah.
But you want to knock and don't knock light because they could be in the back of the house and not hear you.
Exactly. Let's just say you only get one chance to knock. Do you want them to hear you or not hear you?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you only get that one chance, let's make sure that they heard you.
Knock like
let's
a neighbor.
Make sure. And then if they don't hear that, maybe I'll ring the doorbell. Maybe I'll go around back and knock on the back door. Maybe I'll call them a few times.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
I spent my time
Yeah.
and money to go see them
Yeah.
and they agreed, I'm going to do everything in my power to get in front of them immediately.
Well, and especially
that
if you
day.
drove a good distance. I mean,
Right.
if you drove more than an hour,
Yeah.
you want to be sure that person's going to open the door.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
if you drive an hour, you've wasted that time, you've wasted that money,
Right.
and then you get this light little tap on the door.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody answers. You get in the car and leave.
Right.
You've wasted your time, wasted your money.
At that point, you're almost scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you can't be.
And people are going to stand you up.
Oh yeah.
People are going to no-show you. Leave your card. Call them back. Say, I'm so sorry I missed you. I was a few minutes early. And normally what's funny is I will actually have a better chance of making a sale, like going back and making a sale, especially if they call me back. If they're the type of individual that feels bad for standing you up.
Right.
Then they feel obligated
Oh yeah.
to see you.
Yeah.
And it's a more serious appointment if they allow you back.
I know a guy who, when he goes, if there's a no-show or if they just simply don't answer the door, if they've got a car parked in the driveway, if they've got something parked out in the driveway, he leaves a little flyer with his business card stapled to it, puts it right under the windshield, and walks away. And typically, he said about 50% of the time he'll get a call back for it.
Absolutely, because they know that you've been there.
Yeah,
they'll generally remember. Oh crap, or something like. I may write, hey, sorry I missed you for our 4 o'clock appointment.
Mm-hmm.
I never want to make the customer wrong by any means.
No.
If anything, I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's the way sales work.
Yeah.
Agree. The customer's always right.
Yeah.
Those things,
Yeah.
and it's true. But that's kind of leading up to the warm-up, getting in the home. Hi, my name's Cody. And they normally know. I don't even have to normally tell them.
Right, yeah.
90% of the time when I knock on the door, they remembered that I was coming.
Well, and that's the thing.
And they just let me in.
And your appointment setting process to even get to the door is very firm. Is I don't want to say bulletproof, but it's a solid appointment setting process to where when he shows up to the door, they're ready. They know they've been conditioned. Okay, Cody Askins is going to be at my house at 3:00 to talk to me about final expense.
Exactly.
And they know.
Exactly.
And so that makes when you knock on that door, hey, there's Cody.
Exactly. They remember. Yeah. They let me in, and then the warm up stage continues.
Right.
Where that's like. I'm greeting them. I'm asking how they're doing. Hello, ma'am. My name's Cody.
Yep.
Thank you so much for allowing me in your home.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you guys lived here? Where are you originally from?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you take a few minutes and get to know them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like you're the dude that is just there to sell them
just make a sale and then leave.
Exactly. I want to build a relationship
Yeah.
that lasts forever.
Oh, yeah.
By the time I leave, I want them to think that right there is my insurance agent for the rest of my life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I want them to feel that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. I've watched a lot of people on YouTube, and there's a guy who's a mortgage broker, and he's got a kind of a philosophy that he goes by when he warms up, and it's called Ford. And I'm sure tons of people have heard about it. But there's 4 things you want to ask someone about in your warm-up: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams or desires.
Ooh.
And
I like that.
Yeah, hey, Ford. And
I
for
like
you Chevy
that.
lovers out there, I can't think of a good acronym for Chevy, but but yeah, it's really good because it gets them opening up, it gets them talking, it gets them to feel like you actually care about them instead of, like you said, just walking in, hey, I'm Cody, I'm here to sell you insurance, and then leave. You're taking an interest in that person's life and what they do for a living, how they make their money,
exactly,
what they do for fun, and what dreams and aspirations they have down the road.
And in the warm up stage, what's some things that, and you've been in a lot of homes too, what's some things that you can look out for or pay attention to when you go in a home to make sure that, to give you some easy things to talk about, some easy conversation topics, some easy ways to warm up?
Well, one I always do, because I love cars, I'm a big car guy. If I see a nice car in the driveway, or if I see something that they're working on, I'll always talk about that, because that's something they put time, they put money, they've worked on blood, sweat, and tears. Pictures on the wall, like vacation, especially if you go into an elderly family, and they've got pictures of their grandkids everywhere and all their family. Ask them about that. If you can tell that they collect something, like I went into a gentleman's house one time, and this guy had an entire room, like a full room, with nothing but American eagle, bald eagle statues all over. I mean, just anything you could think of.
Right.
And so we got to talking about that, and he really opened up to me.
Exactly.
And I made the sale.
Key point: get them to open up.
Yes.
Because If I know that I have and this is true, if I know I have a poor warm up, I have a lower chance of making a sale.
Oh yeah.
My percentages drop.
Yeah.
So if I have a poor warm up, or if I can't get them to open up,
right,
I know that's kind of a
that's your first indication.
It really
that
is.
It's that
Exactly.
things aren't going well.
Exactly. Because when we get to the fact finding stage, we want them to open up.
Yeah.
We want them to answer the tough questions that we're going to be asking.
Absolutely.
If they're not opening up, if they're not talking to us, if they're not answering the questions, it's going to make it that much tougher.
Your percentages just drop and drop. Yeah. It makes it really tough. And at that point, it's probably some, and it may be you, it may be them. You've got to almost try to dig a little deeper and figure out what it is about that person that's going to make them click and actually start talking to you.
Yeah, exactly. And there's something.
Yeah, there's always something. They wouldn't let you in their house.
Everyone loves someone and something.
Yeah.
You've just got to figure out what that someone
there's
and
something
is.
It may be the coldest, just most dry guy in the world who's not going to talk to you, who's not going to communicate worth anything. But then you notice one little thing, and you have to always be observant, always be looking around. Pay attention to the client.
That's another awesome one.
Always be looking around. Find something that you can relate to that person about. And when that person finally opens up and you see that little flicker in their eye because you mentioned something that they're just overly proud of, then things start to go in your direction and things start to work for you instead of against you.
Exactly. I love that. That's awesome points, man.
That's why I'm on
Welcome
the show,
to the main event, bro.
I'm on the show.
Welcome, baby. All right, so we've talked about, the warm-up, and I'll give a few other ideas: area, weather, family, work, recreation. Two things I always do, too. I always start off the appointment by complimenting and thanking.
Yep.
So that we're headed on the right path.
Oh, yeah.
Complimenting. What an awesome home, beautiful home. I can tell that you do a phenomenal job of taking awesome care of this.
Oh, yeah. And even if it's a wreck, even if they've got piles of newspaper.
You can find something to compliment.
You can compliment them on something.
You can.
Yeah.
You can.
Hey,
compliment and then, I'll, if we're sitting at the table, I'll always do this. Put my hand on the table. Thank you so much for allowing me in your home.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, because they've gone out of their way to let a complete stranger into their home.
Yeah.
And they're already a little on edge, and especially if a lot of times, like in the final expense world, you're going to see a lot of women. You're going to see a lot of older women, and that's just how it is.
That's true.
That's the nature of the beast. And so when you go in there, you want to make them feel comfortable that you're there, because you're a stranger. If you're a big guy, Cody's, you're 6'1", 6'2",
yeah,
pretty big guy, and to a smaller older lady, maybe a little intimidating.
That's
so
true.
You want to relieve a lot of that and make them feel good about you being there.
Get that smile working, baby.
Yep.
Get that smile working.
Yep.
Okay, so that was the warm up.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's get into stage 2. Stage 1 was warm up. Stage 2,
arguably the most important stage.
No question about it. And this is the reason: if you're not making sales, if you're missing sales, if things are happening that are preventing you from making money, if you're walking out of homes because you didn't make a sale, this is why.
That's exactly why.
The fact-finding stage.
You did not fact-find
Exactly.
enough.
And what this stage is about is finding out what they need, what they want, what they can afford, and how their health is.
Yeah.
And you could even throw in a fifth one, which is finding the perfect product.
Yeah.
Perfect company, perfect price,
but
whatever.
those 4 things are what you need to make a sale.
If you don't know these, what they need, want, can afford in their health, you will not make a sale.
Ever.
And there's certain questions, and in getting to this, in the fact-finding stage, I want you to ask the tough questions.
Oh, yeah.
The questions that you're afraid to ask. The elephant in the room.
Yep.
Whatever, and I'll try this sometimes where if I'm not afraid. I can ask anyone anything at any point now. Nothing scares me.
No.
I'm not scared of anything as far as asking them. I'll ask them how much money they have in their account. I don't care. But if you don't ask the tough questions,
well, you're not going to
2
get
points.
tough answers.
2 points. Ask the tough questions and always get an answer.
Always.
To your question.
Always.
Because there will be so many times, I know people are sitting there thinking this, and they agree, where you are literally asking question, hey, what's your budget? What can you comfortably afford to spend on a monthly basis?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't jump into that soon.
Right.
But it's
in there.
It's in the fact-finding stage. But probably 70, 80, 90% of the time, they are going to say, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Or, I don't know, I have to check my budget. Or those are signs of not making a sale.
Yeah.
Get an answer to that question. I don't care if they say, you know what, I really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Get an answer. So if you had to, just hypothetically, if you had to pick a number, would you say $30, $50, $70, $100?
Put numbers in there.
What are you comfortable with?
Yeah.
Which of those numbers is it?
Yeah.
And then shut up and let them pick.
And let them say something.
Get
They're gonna answer.
answers to your questions. Ask the tough questions,
Mm-hmm.
and do not ever leave a question unanswered.
No.
I don't leave questions unanswered anymore. I'll walk out of the home.
Yeah.
Before I leave a question unanswered anymore.
Yeah.
Because I know if they're not answering my questions then, I'm not going to get a close.
No.
I'm not going to get them to make a
Wasting your
decision when the time is right.
Yeah, you're wasting
So
your time.
I'm asking the toughest questions in the world that everyone else is afraid to ask, and I'm getting answers to every question that I ask before I move on.
Oh, yeah.
It is an absolute must. So what type of questions are we thinking about? The fact-finding question that I think leads perfectly into fact-finding every single time is, what got you thinking about life insurance? Or you spoke to Joanne from our office. What prompted that phone call? Or what prompted your response to that phone call?
Right.
Figure out why you're there. Even if they say, well, I don't know, I just let you out. At least you're figuring out what's on their mind.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Before you just jump in.
Yeah, and that leads into another great, because when you ask them, why would you want insurance? What is the purpose of of having me come out here and present this to you today? That right there opens up so many options because they may have just recently had a death in the family.
Right.
They may have just recently had a friend or a friend or a friend's family member who passed away, and that got them thinking, and they didn't have any life insurance, and so they're thinking, oh well, I should probably look into this because Joanne down the road, her husband passed away, and she had to pay $8,000, and now she's in debt, or something. But it's going to get them thinking initially, and that's what you want to do. You want to you want to set the precedent for the whole conversation that you're going to ask questions, and you need answers.
Exactly. If you're in control,
Yeah.
and you're asking tough questions and getting the tough answers, you will make a sale. I
Right.
guarantee it.
Oh,
and so, what got you to think about life insurance? Get them to talk. Ask open-ended questions.
Yeah.
Get them to open up. Get them to talk. The more information you know,
Right.
and the better job you do of listening, the better chance you have of actually making a sale.
Right.
I can tell you this: if I do a majority of the talking, and if I talk more than them, I will not make a sale.
That's never a good sign.
But if they talk more than me,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're opening up, and they're talking, and I'm listening and responding and empathizing, and acknowledging, I will make a sale.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
If I do not get them to open up and talk, I will never make a sale.
Yeah.
And so, we got to think about life insurance. Another question I do: what's the purpose of this?
Right. What are you getting it for?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What would be the purpose of this? I want to know. There's got to be a purpose. And then, hey, we need to know kind of why they're. And I don't always ask these in the same order, but I'm always asking these types of questions or these questions in general.
Right.
Are we here to cover? Do you want to cover burial, final expenses, mortgage,
Right,
car
yeah.
payments, a loan? Leave money to family, leave money to a church or charity. What are you looking to a cremation? What are you looking to accomplish from this?
Yeah.
What's your goal? In a perfect world, what would you like to see happen from what we're doing here today?
Yeah. And like Cody said, listen. You always have to listen because all these questions are designed to get you an answer to give you ammunition for the close.
Exactly.
Because if they say they want it for mortgage, well then you're probably not going to be selling a little $2,000 burial policy. You're going to be selling something a little bit higher. So that right there, you've already got gears clicking saying, okay, well, we need to look at these carriers or these, and this is the amount we need to be looking at. And all of these questions, and that's why it's so important to shut your mouth and open your ears.
It is.
Because everything that they're telling you is ammunition for the close. So that when you go into the close and you say, okay, well, I know you said earlier that, you had a friend that passed away and their husband didn't have any life insurance. Your husband passed away recently. He didn't have any life insurance. You've got some kids that, are going to have to, cover your final expenses if you don't have this life insurance. Right. Why don't we do it?
They are building the sale for
Oh, yeah,
you.
yeah. They're making the sale for you subconsciously.
Exactly. They truly, truly are. Another thing is, how much coverage do you feel like you need? Have you had to go through this with someone else? If they had, how much did it cost?
Right.
Take them back to that.
Yeah.
So that they realize what they're doing and why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Another thing that I always have to know, always in the fact-finding stage, is, and I'm assuming every step of the way, I'm assuming I'm acting like the sale's going to happen.
Yep.
Who is going to be your beneficiary today?
Exactly.
If something were to happen to you, who are we going to leave the money to?
Right.
I'm getting an answer to that question.
Yep.
If they don't have a beneficiary, if they don't have someone they love, I will not make a sale.
Nope.
It is an absolute lost cause.
Yep.
It truly is. So I want to know the beneficiary, whether it's a son, daughter, spouse, aunt,
Lifelong
uncle,
friend.
kid, lifelong friend, whatever. The pastor, I don't care.
Right.
They've got someone that they care about. Or if they say, well, I don't know. Well, I know this is a tough question, but I desperately need an answer. This is really important. If something were to happen to you, who would be in charge of your estate? Or who would be in charge of your final affairs?
And guys, these are tough questions. They really are, because you're talking about death. I mean, it's never a fun conversation, but these are absolutely necessary. You must
100%
get these questions answered
100%.
so that you can go into the close and you can close effectively and close correctly.
Right. Another thing I'm going to get into is, will you be paying for this? Because I want to know early.
Yeah.
I want to know early. Will you be paying for this with a checking or a savings account? I'm going to let them choose.
Right.
I'm going to let them speak.
Yeah.
And you know what? Dead serious. Last week, Thursday night, I ran an appointment. And I haven't even done a video about this yet, I don't think. Last Thursday night, I ran an appointment where they had a problem with their bank 40 years ago. No joke. In the last 40 years, hand on the Bible, in the last 40 years, no one has ever been told, they've never told anyone their routing number, their account number. They've never let anyone, including the water bill, the sewer trash, TV, phone, whatever. No one's ever took anything. No one's ever drafted anything from their account in the last 40 years. They paid everything by money order 100% of the time over the last 40 years.
Yeah.
And they said from the very beginning, I promise you, no one will ever take anything out of my account.
Yeah.
Guess who they gave their checking account number to, their routing number to, the name of their bank to. And yeah, it took some overcoming of some objections, some agreeing. They would drop a major boulder. I would step around it politely, respectfully, positively, and move in the direction I want them to move. I got their routing number, account number, bank name, and it's in their best interest.
It is.
And I tell them it
really is.
And you can use this as an absolute when they say, you know what, I don't let anyone take any money in my account. That's great. I absolutely understand why. You know what? Unfortunately, a majority of our carriers won't allow us to pay with monthly bill.
Right.
Because
and you always want to give them an answer.
Exactly.
You want to give them a why.
If you get Alzheimer's, you forget to pay your payment. And I tell them that's happened to hundreds of thousands of people.
Oh, yeah.
Where you end up in the hospital. You end up in the nursing home. You fall.
Life happens.
You end up with Alzheimer's, dementia.
Right.
And you forget to make that payment. Guess what happens when you pass away? Your family gets absolutely nothing. That's why most carriers won't do it, and I've got a personal rule that I will never do it.
Right, yeah. And it really is in their best interest. And
100% of the time.
These companies aren't swindling, no good, been around for 5-year companies. These are highly, highly rated, multi-million dollar companies.
They've been around over 100 years.
Yeah, been around for hundreds of years, and they're only going to draft what they need to draft out of the account. They're never going to double. I mean, they're not swindling and thieving anybody, and you have to make that point clear to the client because people are afraid. I mean, with the internet and all these little and all the identity theft schemes and everything going on, people are afraid.
They really are.
You have two giants of their industry, whatever bank they're with and whatever insurance company they're going with. And they've signed an agreement back and forth that says, we're going to take this much out this day of every single month.
Right. And one thing I always ask is, hypothetically, let's just say hypothetically, because I want to get them to start to move in my direction.
Right, yeah.
Hypothetically, if you knew, in a perfect world, you knew that everything that I was saying was 100% true and that they would never take out anything other than this specific amount on whatever day you specifically requested, and that everything would go perfectly for the rest of your life, as it has for all of my clients.
Right.
100% of the time, what would you say if you knew all of that to be true?
Right.
well, what are they going to say? They're like, well, if I knew it would all be true, I would say yes.
Yes.
Well, I'm telling you right now, and I understand it's going to take a leap of faith for you to get here, but I guarantee you everything I'm saying is 100% true. And I'll even do this. I'll even say, hey, you know what? What's funny is I've got a ton of clients that felt the exact same way.
Yeah.
They were in your shoes. They were worried. They weren't sure what they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But they took that leap of faith. They allowed the insurance company to take everything out,
right.
to draft it out of their account, or for the bank to send the money once a month on a specific day for a specific amount. And now they're so happy they do. It is unreal how many happy clients I have that have took that leap of faith and are now doing it that way.
Yeah, and it's one less thing for them to have to worry about. It's one less bill that they have to go through and put on their the back of their checkbook every month. It's one less thing for them. So if you make it sound like it is such a simple, seamless, guaranteed process,
guaranteed
which it
process,
is.
exactly.
It is that you and the client are both signing a document that is saying they're only going to take this much out on this day.
Right.
It's a real, and guys, we get that. That is probably one of, especially with your older clientele, one of the biggest objections you'll run into is, well, I don't ever pay anything out of a bank account. I write checks or
when that
I
happens,
get money orders.
I always feel like I can overcome it.
Yeah.
Every single time. And if you don't know how to overcome it, if you never overcame it, let's start overcoming it, because I guarantee you can.
You can.
Also, when we're fact finding, we want to get into how their health is.
Yes, that's huge.
And
that's
this is a 10, 15, 20 minute process.
Right.
This part.
Yeah.
You want to get into, have you ever had any, do you have any diabetes? Have you ever had anything happen with your heart? Heart attack, strokes? Have you ever had any cancer at all?
Right.
High blood pressure, cholesterol, COPD.
The big ones.
Yeah, using the oxygen. Have anyone that does hospice? Do you ever need a wheelchair?
Like brain disorder, like Alzheimer's, dementia, anything like that.
Exactly. You want to get as much information as you can. Even if you have to ask specific health questions, that's fine.
Right.
And I also want to find out what meds they're on. Mm-hmm. If they don't want to give me a list, I want to get a list. But if they don't, I at least want to know why what meds they're on and why they're taking them. I need to know these things before I just throw a company out and go full barrel blast.
Right.
And they can't qualify for the one that I showed them. That hurts me long term.
Yeah.
Because it didn't fact find well, because it didn't field underwrite well enough. So I'm going to find out that. I'm going to find out height and weight. I'm going to find out their age. I'm going to find out if they ever use tobacco. I'm going to find out anything else health-wise, any surgeries ever.
Right.
I always want to know beneficiary, how they're going to pay, budget. All these things I have to know before I can proceed into stage 3. Stage 3 is present and close.
Yep.
I put these together because I personally believe you can never present without the close.
No, they go hand in hand because
they have to.
Your whole presentation needs to be a close. Every time when you fact find and you get all this information, you get all this ammunition.
Right.
When you're presenting, you're using that information to close with them. So, okay, you said you wanted $10,000. You're going to leave it to your son.
Yeah.
You're wanting a traditional burial. You had your friend down the road whose husband passed away, and your husband passed away, and nobody had life insurance.
Right.
Why don't we do this today?
Let's get that. Okay, so presenting and closing. And what I think through in stage 3, presenting and closing, I think through finding the 3 best quotes.
Right.
I try to find the 3 best quotes. I don't show them yet. I don't even show them my phone. I don't show them the pad, nothing.
Yeah.
I'll write down the 3 quotes that I think. I'll normally put the one that they can afford or that they like the best in the middle. If it meets their budget or their benefit amount, whatever.
Right.
Normally they pick the one in the middle anyway. So I want to put the main one in the middle because I want to make a decision. And then, and you know what? There's tons of different ways to present. There's tons of different ways to close. This one just happens to work.
And very well.
Yeah. So I write the 3 best options down. Then I go over the 5 benefits, and I walk through the 5 benefits. And I'm going to give you a little short scenario of how I do that. And so I'll literally have a pad and a pen, and sometimes I'll even go kneel on one knee beside them or sit in a chair beside them so that I'm in their bubble.
Right.
I'm in close.
Yep.
I'm going over everything. They're understanding
They
everything.
have to look.
Exactly. They have to look. They have to make a decision. And so I already have the quotes, but I don't want to show them the quotes until I build value with my benefits presentation.
Absolutely.
And so I'll say what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, is go over the benefits of the types of policies that we sell. The benefits that our clients rave about, that they love, that they're impressed with.
Yeah.
that Miss Betty down the street is in love with.
Oh,
and
loves
so
it. She loves it.
I'll go through and I'll say, okay, number one, and I'll write it down. I'll write benefits on the top of the piece of paper. Benefits. Number one, whole life to age 100. This lasts your whole life, your entire life.
Yep.
I'll say, there's a lot of policies out there that last till 80, 90, or they end at certain ages,
right,
or they're only for so many years.
Or they start climbing.
We want to give you something that's for the rest of your life.
Right.
Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you like that? Would you agree with that? Get some agreement along the way.
Yeah.
Okay, number two. Number two is that you get a price lock, a 100% price lock.
Locked in.
Baby's going to lock that sucker down.
It ain't ever moving.
We are making sure that you get a price lock so that your price never goes up. Do you like that? Is that cool? And I'll tell them, just because you can afford a price now doesn't mean you can afford an increase down the road.
Right.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
And so you get agreement.
And that's huge on a lot, because those TV commercial, your other the ones that they sell on television, they're a lot of them are a 2-year waiting period for the benefit.
Yep.
And then after a certain age, the premium starts to go up.
Well, AARP goes up every 5 years.
Yeah, every 5 years.
Yeah. And there's others that Globe jumps at 80. Big
well,
time.
most people aren't getting more money as they get older. Typically, it's dwindling down, and so that's why that price lock is so important to these folks, because maybe they had a Colonial Penn back in the day,
right?
And or an AARP, and every 5 years, oh man, my policy just keeps going up every 5 years, and I can't afford it anymore.
They're not going to end up using that. They're going to end up wasting all of that money, and if we don't stress the importance of that,
it's huge.
A time will come that, and I'll ask them, if they have it, does it concern you that most females are living till mid to late 80s, and that you've only got a policy to 79 or 80?
Right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does that concern you?
Yeah.
And so back to the benefits. Number 2 is a price lock. Number 3, hey, is that it pays double in the event of an accident. Yeah, it's unlikely, but it's nice to know that it's there just in case. Yeah. Number 4, it builds cash value. It's kind of like a savings account within the policy.
Yep.
It grows with interest.
Yep.
Do you understand how that works? If they don't, I'll explain it. If they do, great. It's not. I say, you know what? It's never a reason to buy a policy,
right?
But it's awesome to know that it's there.
But it's an addition. It's a good addition.
Exactly. The 5th benefit, and I'll write it down. Number 5 is a local agent, and I'll say, you know what? I think this is, and maybe I'm biased because I'm an agent, and I'll tell them that. I think this is the most important of all of them.
Well, yeah.
Only because when you need to change, just for minor changes, bank account, beneficiary, and I'll say these things: address, phone number,
just little things.
I'll even joke and say date of birth, and just to see if they're paying attention. I mean, just the little things.
Yeah.
Would you rather call a 1-800 number, talk to someone overseas, wait on the phone for 40 minutes,
right?
And then, or would you rather just call a local cell phone number or a local office? Cody answers, he handles it,
and it's done.
And then I'll say, even more important than minor changes, when that time does come that you do pass away,
and this is huge.
Do you want your spouse or your daughter or your son? And I'll mention the beneficiary again.
Right. That's
why I want it, because I'm building that. I want to know the name. That beneficiary. Do you want that beneficiary to have to call a 1-800 number, wait on hold for a couple hours,
right? Talk
to someone, gosh knows where?
Oh yeah.
Then the company's going to mail paperwork to them, claim paperwork. They're going to have to get a death certificate together. They're going to have to get everything notarized, get with the funeral home, mail it all back to them.
Yeah.
Rather than all that huge burden and all that time
yeah.
that's being wasted and all the rigmarole that your family's gonna have to go to,
yeah.
they've got so much on their plate.
Oh yeah, it's already
stressful. When this
enough.
time comes, they pick up a phone,
mm-hmm.
they call Cody as a local agent.
Right.
He handles it.
Yeah.
He gets all the paper. He notifies the company. He gets all the paperwork together.
Yep.
He gets everything notarized. He gets with the funeral home, and they have to handle nothing, nada.
That's
awesome
huge.
Is that?
That's huge, guys. I mean, and because that's the last thing.
That's how I can beat AARP and Globe Life.
Oh,
all day, every day is like that, exactly that.
Just like that, because yeah, these television insurance companies, you know, they're okay. We're not gonna sit here and bash an insurance company, but there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of hassle that goes into.
Oh, no doubt.
To even filing it, to not even talking about the death claim. Just to change simple change of address.
Yeah.
There's some paperwork that's involved in there.
No doubt.
And
no doubt.
and if someone who is a senior who doesn't handle a lot of paperwork, hasn't really done a lot of stuff in the past, 10, 15 years, the last thing they're going to want to go through and do
Right.
is deal with a bunch of paperwork and have to send it all in and mail it all in to where they can call Cody, they can call Jacob, and they can say, hey, I'm not living here anymore, I'm living here. Okay,
Right.
give me the address, it's taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's nice. You get through the benefits, and then I want them to pick a benefit. Of these 5 benefits, do you think that any of these are important to you?
Right.
I'm asking in a way that they're going to say, no, I think they're all important, or I think this one's important. If they say, well, I like them all. Well, is there one that stands out to you? Which one do you like the most?
Right.
Get them to make a decision. Get them to say yes. Get them to pick, because you're about to give them rates and you want them to pick again.
Yeah.
So get them to pick. Then we go into, okay, before I show you this, what I'm about to show you is 3 options. And these 3 options come with all of these benefits that we talked about, and they're exactly, they accomplish what we are looking to accomplish.
Right.
And they come with all 5 of these benefits. And so I'll turn it over. Here's the 3 options. We've got $8,000 for $80 a month. We've got $10,000 for $100 a month. Or we've got $12,000 for $120 a month. Which of these 3 are you most comfortable with?
Right.
I shut up. I let them pick, and 85% of the time they pick the one in the middle. And I say, okay, great. Let's see if we can get you approved. What's your full legal name? So I've got the rates ready as soon as I'm done building the benefits value, benefits presentation. Then I've got the application ready.
Right.
Excellent. Let's see if we can get you approved. What's your full legal name? And you smile. And you take their information down, you assume the sale, and they become a client.
Yep.
If they say, well, you know what? I don't know that I'm ready to do this today. There's normally a reason we did something wrong.
Right.
So most of the time, earlier in the call. And so I'll say, you know what? That's fantastic. I've got some clients that felt the exact same way at first.
Right.
They're glad they made a decision now because they know that they're with the best company and the best agent in the world. And if we don't fill it, no one else is going to. Overpromise, overdeliver.
Yep.
But I want to find out, what's the one thing that's holding you back from making a decision today? Tough question.
Tough.
Get an answer.
Tough.
Find out what the real objection is, because we cannot close unless we know what the true objection is. What is truly holding them back from making a decision? So I'm giving the 3 quotes. I'm asking which one I like the best. I'm pulling out the app. I'm assuming that they want to go and get started with it. We'll see if we can get you approved. What's your full legal name? Some other closes are...
This is my favorite one. The time.
That's right. Yeah, because sometimes they'll say, well, I don't know. I think I want to think about it.
I need some time.
Well,
I need some time.
I'll say, well, do you plan to own something like this in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do plan to make a decision. Well, why don't we go ahead and take time out of the equation? You need it. You want it. You can afford it. Why don't you just take it? Why don't we just do it?
Yeah.
You know?
And that's a tough one.
You're going to do it at some point in the future.
That's a tough thing to ask someone.
Yeah.
And that's a tough thing to go in, but you got to do it. You got to ask those tough questions.
Exactly.
Because no one else is going to ask them.
No.
So why don't you? I mean, the worst thing they're going to say is no.
They've already, then they already did once.
Yeah.
So it's like, just keep
keep going.
But if I overcome long enough and close in different ways, I can generally turn that into a client.
Yeah.
If they say, well, you know what? I really want to think about it. And I don't even know that it's something, and maybe it's not time, but maybe they just really want to think about it.
Right.
I've got a personal rule, and I'll tell them, hey, because of the fact that I've had people think about it, and then they've passed away, and the family's mad at me, I have a personal rule. I don't do callbacks.
No.
You need it. You want it. You can afford it. And we've both agreed this is exactly what you need, want, and can afford.
Yeah.
I don't make callbacks. Why don't you just take it?
Why don't we just
Let's go ahead and do this. Would you agree with me?
Yep.
And I've had people say, I've had it happen dozens of times, well, if you don't do callbacks, I guess I have to take it, right? And they do. And
unless they want a different agent, which most people don't.
I've had that happen so many times. And so there's so many different closes.
Yeah. Well, there's tons.
The present and close is all about building value in everything that you have to offer.
Yeah.
Give them a few options. Get them to pick along the way. And then close and move into the sale.
Take all that information from your fact-finding step and turn that into a value-building presentation.
Exactly.
Turn all the information that they gave you into a value that they cannot see past.
Yeah.
That they know is there. They know it's exactly what they want. They need it. They want it. They can afford it.
Right.
Why don't they do it?
Exactly. And they should. Okay, so that was the presenting and closing stage 3. Now that you've made them a client, you've earned their business, you've filled an application, you've done a phone interview, they're approved, whatever. Right. Let's move into stage 4.
Which I think a lot of agents skip
Totally
completely,
miss. Totally
or
miss.
do not put enough emphasis on because,
Yeah.
I've got the sale. I got to get out of here because I got to move on to the next
I don't want them to change their mind.
No, and that's the thing.
That's a myth.
They will not.
It's truly a myth, and they think that though. So I call this like the wrap up and cool down stage, where if they're ever going to change their mind, or I want to be involved.
Yeah.
I want to know if something's going to hold them back from me in a client line for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to ask confirming questions. I'm going to ask for referrals.
Yeah.
I'm going to cool down, and so I'm going to ask, hey, are you happy with the decision that we've done here today? Would there be any reason why this wouldn't work out and we wouldn't be in a business relationship for the rest of your life?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I want to know if there's ever an inkling. And then they may say, well, the only reason I would ever get rid of it is if the price went up. Well, I can promise you it won't.
Yep, price
So
lock.
we're both good.
Yep, nothing
to worry about.
You've already overcome that objection.
And so, are you happy with your decision? Is there a reason why you wouldn't keep this for the rest of your life? Who is one person that that we can also help? And sometimes, to paraphrase a referral question, hey, before I ask you this, someone's going to pop in your head. It always happens every time, and I'm kind of setting them up.
Yeah.
So before I ask you, someone's going to pop in your head. So what I want to ask you is, and I know someone's going to pop in your head when I ask you this, who else do you know that could also use help with this that we're talking about today?
Yeah.
Who popped in your head? I'm going to shut up and let them speak.
Yep.
And 90% of the time, they have a name.
Yeah, always.
They really do.
I mean,
is there some agents that are like, hey, I want 10 referrals? Well, okay, I'd rather get one or two.
Solid referrals, too.
Yeah, than just a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can ask for too much and not get anything.
And anything, yeah. You I know a lot of agents will leave a referral sheet.
Yeah.
And it'll have 10 blanks on it with name and phone number. And they'll leave it there, and they'll call the person back in a week. Right. Hey, how many names you got in there? Well, none. Well, why don't you have any on? Well, I can't think of anybody.
Yeah.
Well, you set the bar way too high.
Well, and who else would fill that out when you're gone?
Right.
That's not my job. That's the agent's
not
job.
my way.
I mean, exactly. And so, also, I'm going to explain the process and what's going to happen. Thank you so much for your business. Welcome to the family. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you a magnet. I'm going to go back, fax this up to the insurance company. They're going to issue you a policy, and that policy will be in your hands in the next 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
And I also have like a policy information sheet or policy summary sheet that I leave that goes over, death benefit, premium, the company, all those things.
Just
the
basic
draft date,
Yeah.
everything to remind them. And I don't even leave business cards anymore. I always leave a magnet.
Oh, yeah. I love those
business
magnets.
cards get lost.
Yep.
Magnets get put on the fridge.
Yep.
I leave a magnet every single time. They throw it on the fridge, and when they need me, I'm so easy to get a hold of.
I mean, all your pizza places do it, all your fast food places do it.
Yeah.
So why don't you do it?
Exactly. And then I'll say, hey, before I leave, do you have any questions?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If they have questions, I want to know. I want to answer them while I'm in the home. I don't want them thinking about stuff or talking about stuff when I leave.
Yeah.
If there's going to be something come up, I want to know about it.
Yeah.
And then I'm just cooling down off of business.
Yeah.
Do you have any big plans the rest of the week? Are you doing anything this weekend?
Yep.
What'd you do for Easter?
Yeah, go out of sales mode. Go into be a human again with them.
Exactly.
And that will really, you would be amazed how that's going to make that client a lifelong client.
And exactly. And it'll help when you leave. The business topic
it's gone.
Isn't still carrying on.
Right. Exactly.
You don't want them discussing a ton of stuff when you leave because that means that they almost have a little inkling of they're not positive.
A little hesitation.
Yeah, a little hesitation. So I want to ask those confirming questions.
Yeah.
And then I want to cool down off of business. If they have questions, I want to answer any questions they have about business.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to cool off so that when I leave, the business topic is off.
It's all.
They felt like I didn't just make a sale and run out the door.
Right.
That I was there to learn about them
and provide an actual service
and to build that relationship
and that lifelong client. That's the biggest thing.
So the 4 stages we went through: warm up, number 1. Number 2, fact find.
Super important.
Super
important.
I think it's the most important. Number 3,
absolutely.
present and close. And number 4, wrap up and cool down. These are the 4 stages or steps that I use in my sales appointment process. Anything else that you want to leave with our fine folks or mention before we wrap it up?
Guys, the only thing I would say is if you've been watching these videos, we've really given you a process of how to build your business. And
Sure.
if you follow these steps and you follow the appointment setting process and you buy the leads and you grind, guys, I promise you, and you think big, you think massive,
Exactly.
I promise you, you will make so much money in this business. You don't know what to do with it. These 4 steps right here are 4 steps to success.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. If you follow these 4 steps and you implement them into every single appointment that you walk into, you will be successful. No questions asked.
No doubt about it.
No questions asked.
Exactly. We exactly what Jacob said. Implement these, and you will see good things happen. I absolutely guarantee it. If you're watching on Facebook, on our bottom camera, please like our page, Secure Agent Mentor.
Share
if you're
this
watching
video.
on YouTube, please subscribe on our YouTube. We are almost to 700 subscribers, and I would love for you to help us get there.
Let's get to 1,000.
Thank you so much for watching the main event every Monday, 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. I'm Cody Askins.
And I'm Jacob Van Helden.
And this was the $250,000 sales process in 4 easy steps. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.